And it came to be when Adonizedek, sovereign of Jerusalem, heard that Yahoshua had captured Ai, and had put it under the ban, that he had done to Ai and its sovereigns, and he had done to Jericho and its sovereign, and that the inhabitants of Gabon had made peace with Israel, and were in their midst, that they feared greatly because Gabon was a great city, as one of the royal cities, and because it was greater than Ai, and all its men were mighty. Adonizedek, sovereign of Jerusalem, sent Hoham, sovereign of Hebron, and to Piram, sovereign of Yarmouth, and to Yaphiah, sovereign of Lachish, and to Debir, sovereign of Eglon, saying, Come up and help me, and let us smite Gabon, for it has made peace with Yahoshua and the children of Israel. So the 5 sovereigns of the Amorites, the sovereign of Jerusalem, the sovereign of Hebron, the sovereign of Yarmouth, the sovereign of Lachish, the sovereign of Eglon, gathered together and went up, they and all their armies, and camped before Gabon, and fought against it. And the men of Gilgal sent to Yahoshua at the camp of Gilgal, saying, Do not withdraw your hand from your servants. Come up to us quickly and save us, and help us, for all the sovereigns of the Amorites who dwell in the mountains have assembled against us. And Yahoshua went up from Gilgal, he and all the soldiers with him, and all the mighty brave men. And Yahweh said to Yahoshua,
Do not fear them, for I have given them into your hand. Not one of them stands against you.
So then Yahoshua came upon them suddenly, having gone up all night from Gilgal. And Yahweh threw them into confusion before Israel. And they smote them with a great smiting at Gabon, and pursued them along the way that goes to Beeth Horon, and smote them as far as Azekah and Makkedah. And it came to be, as they fled before Israel, and were on the descent of Beeth Horon, that Yahweh threw down large hailstones from the Shamaim on them, as far as Ezekiel, and they died. There were more who died from the hailstones than those whom the sons of Israel had slain with the sword. Then Yahoshua spoke to Yahweh in the day, when Yahweh gave the Amorites over to the children of Israel. And he said before the eyes of Israel, Sun, stand still over Gabon, and moon in the valley of Ayalon. So the sun stood still, and the moon stopped. All the nation avenged itself upon their enemies. Is this not written in the book of Yashar? Thus the sun stopped in the midst of the Shamaim, and did not hasten to go down for an entire day. And there has been no day like that, before it or after it, that Yahweh listened to the voice of man, because Yahweh fought for Israel. So Yahoshua returned, and all Israel with him, to the camp at Gilgal. Now these 5 sovereigns had fled and hid themselves in a cave in Makkedah. And it was reported to Yahoshua, saying, The 5 sovereigns have been found hidden in the cave at Makkedah. And Yahoshua said, Roll large stones against the mouth of the cave, and put men by it to guard them. And you do not stand still, but pursue your enemies, and you shall smite them in the rear. Do not allow them to enter their cities, for Yahweh your Elohim has given them into your hand. And it came to be, when Yahoshua and the children of Israel had ended smiting them with a very great smiting, till they had finished. But those who had escaped went into the walled cities, that all the people returned to the camp, to Yahoshua at Makkedah in peace. No one moved his tongue against any of the sons of Israel. Then Yahoshua said, Open up the mouth of the cave, and bring out those 5 sovereigns to me from the cave. And they did so, and brought those 5 sovereigns to him from the cave, the sovereign of Jerusalem, the sovereign of Hebron, the sovereign of Yarmouth, the sovereign of Lachish, the sovereign of Eglon. And it came to be, when they brought out the sovereigns to Yahoshua, that Yahoshua called for all the men of Israel, and said to the chiefs of the men of battle who went with him, Come near, put your feet on the necks of these sovereigns. And they drew near, and put their feet on their necks. Then Yahoshua said to them, Do not be afraid, nor discouraged. Be strong and courageous, for this is what Yahweh is going to do to all your enemies, whom you are fighting. And afterward Yahoshua smote them, and killed them, and hanged them on 5 trees. And they were hanging on the trees until evening. And it came to be, at the going down of the sun, that Yahoshua commanded, and they took them down from the trees, and threw them into the cave where they had been hidden, and laid large stones against the cave's mouth to this day. And on that day Yahoshua captured Makkedah, and he smote it with the edge of the sword, and he put its sovereign under the ban, them and all the people who were in it. He left no survivor. And he did to the sovereign of Makkedah as he had done to the sovereign of Jericho. Then Yahoshua passed over, and all Israel with him, from Makkedah to Libnah, and they fought against Libnah. So Yahweh also gave it and its sovereigns into the hands of Israel, and he smote it and all its people who were in it with the edge of the sword. He left no survivors in it. And he did to its sovereign as he had done to the sovereign of Jericho. Then Yahoshua passed over, and all Israel with him, from Libnah to Lachish, and encamped against it, and fought against it. And Yahweh gave Lachish into the hand of Israel, who captured it on the second day, and smote it and all the people who were in it with the edge of the sword, according to all that he had done to Libnah. Then Hiram, sovereign of Gezer, came up to help Lachish, and Yahoshua smote him and his people, until he left no survivor. Then Yahoshua passed over, and all Israel with him, from Lachish to Eglon, and they encamped against it, and fought against it, and captured it on that day, and smote it with the edge of the sword. And all the beings who were in it he put under the ban that day, according to all that he had done to Lachish. Then Yahoshua went up, and all Israel with him, from Eglon to Hebron, and they fought against it, and captured it, and smote it with the edge of the sword, and its sovereign and all its cities, and all the people who were in it. He left no survivor, according to all that he had done in Eglon, but put it and all the people who were in it under the ban. Then Yahoshua returned, and all Israel with him, to Debir, and fought against it, and captured it and its sovereign and all its cities. And they smote them with the edge of the sword, and put all the people who were in it under the ban. He left no survivor, as he had done to Hebron, so he did to Debir and its sovereign, as he had done also to Libnah and its sovereign. Thus Yahoshua smote all the land, the mountain country, and the Negeb, and the low country, and the wilderness slopes, and all the sovereigns. He left no survivor, but put all that breathed under the ban, as Yahweh Elohim of Israel had commanded. And Yahoshua smote them from Kadesh Barnea, as far as Azah, and all the land of Goshen, even as far as Gabon. And Yahoshua captured all these sovereigns, and their land at one time, because Yahweh Elohim of Israel fought for Israel. And Yahoshua returned, and all Israel with him, to the camp at Gilgal.